Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a makeup try-on of a whole bunch of brand new Joe Fresh items. Now, Joe Fresh is mostly a clothing store in Canada. I don't know if this is actually sold in the US at all, but they branched out into makeup quite a few years ago and they've only continued to expand their range. So I have some brand new stuff for 2018. I'm gonna try it out and let you know my thoughts. Before I get started on my eyes, I'm gonna first prep my lips with some lip oil. This is their rose scent, I believe. And this is not a step that I normally do in my makeup, but I have no other idea on how to test this lip oil, so I'm just gonna put it on in advance. And this one has one of those super fat, bulbous doe foot applicators. I love these things because they're so enormous, and that did not get much on the brush. All right, let's see. My initial reaction is that it feels okay, a little bit thin for lip oil. I tend to prefer something really thick. But the thing that I'm not keen on is that when the applicator is not in the tube, it's only filled to halfway. The product only comes up to there, which is a little bit disappointing. However, I guess when you put this in, the wand takes up so much space that it actually fills the whole product. But yeah, that's a little bit bizarre. All right, so there's no eye primer in this collection of new products, so I've gone in with my own, but now we're gonna move on to eyeshadow. And this is what I really like about Joe Fresh. They have palettes that are this size that are only $14. I think that's really good considering that drugstore eyeshadow palettes tend to be incredibly expensive right now. So this is their Rose Neutrals palette and it's new for 2018. In looking at the shades in here, I can see that there are mattes and shimmers, which is so appreciated. I can't stand when a palette is only shimmers, and a lot of drugstore brands seem to only go that way. It's changing as the years go on, but I'm always still really happy when I see a blend of the two kinds of finishes in a palette. I'm gonna do my crease first, and I'm gonna go in with this slightly more mauve rose color here. None of them actually have shade names, so I'm just gonna have to describe the color and show you as we go along. And I'm gonna put that in my upper crease, which is, my crease is right here. I'm putting it above it, and that's because I've got hooded lids and I want my eyeshadow to show up. I love that color, but I do want to make it a bit more of a gradient, so I'm gonna go in with this shade right here and put that just below the top edge of that crease color so that the original color sticks out a little bit. I just want this one to deepen up my actual crease. For my lid, I'm gonna go in with this more like golden taupe shade on a flat brush. Nemo, no! I'm just gonna pack that all over the lid. For the very outer corner of my eye, I'm gonna take the darkest shade in this palette and just put that right on the outer corner. And I'm just patting that on. It's really sticking to that area and then sort of patting it up and inward a bit. Okay, so this palette is basically missing a cream bone colored matte shade. So I am gonna go in with the shimmery one up here and use that on my brow bone. I don't tend to opt for shimmer up here, although I like the look of it, and honestly this one is turning out just fine. I don't know why I always opt for matte shades, but yeah, this palette doesn't actually need it because this shade works out just well enough. I'm going to take that same color on a smaller brush and put that on the inner corner of my eye just to brighten it up. I wanted it to be a little bit brighter, so I'm going to go in with the white one down here. This one is shimmery, and layer that right on top. For the lower lash line, I'm just going to take the original lid color and put that right on the inner half of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to go back to that original purple crease color and put that on the outer corner. For my lower waterline, I'm going to go in with a pencil here. This is in the color Champagne. We did not have a good start when I first pulled the cap off. The nib broke and then it broke again as I was sharpening it. I finally got it, so I've got an end on it. So that's just going to go straight on the waterline. This is not sticking on my waterline at all. Well, a little bit. Nope, this one's not working. That's funny because it comes off quite nicely on my, well, it came off nicely and then it kind of just smushed into oblivion. Okay, this one's a pass for me. To finish off the eyes, I'm going to be using one of Joe Fresh's brand new mascaras, and this is the Lash and Lift mascara with olive extract. I've already curled my eyelashes. I'm not going to be putting false lashes on, so I tend to curl my lashes when I do that. And this one has the weirdest dang wand you ever did see. So this is like a ball applicator, but there are little ridges right on the inner portion too. Anyway, let's give this a shot. I don't really even, do I stick with the ball or do I go with, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, you know, it's funny, the copy for this says that it's shaped this way to get hard to reach areas. I don't know how I'm supposed to get on the inner corner with this big thing. Well, okay, so this eyelash was fine, but this one is all gone clumpy, and unless I use like mascara declumper on this thing, it's going to just look like spider lashes. Why did that happen on this eye? This is infuriating. This is not easy. I'm trying to get my bottom lashes and I have no idea how to get in there with this enormous ball at the end of it. Like if I do my lower lashes with the ball, nothing is coming off. But if I try to use like the smaller part or the thinner part, I'm just gonna end up with the ball junking up the rest of my eye. My eyes are done, so let's move on to the face. We have a brand new foundation by Joe Fresh. This is their Hydra-Stay liquid foundation. I've got 2 different shades here, and this is half the range. This is a problem with Joe Fresh's foundation colors. They only tend to make like 4 to 6 colors, which is really not enough, but I am the skin tone range that these will fit into, so let's figure out which one of these is gonna work for me. So this one does promise an ultra moisturizing, lightweight tinted formula that provides medium coverage with a demi-matte finish. That is right up my alley. I'm gonna try the lightest shade first, and I'm gonna be using my damp Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. It has a pump. Praise the maker. Drugstore foundations that have no pump drive me nuts. So it's fairly runny. This color looks like it's gonna be, yep, that's slightly peach, but it'll blend in. So this is the lightest shade and it's called Porcelain. The other one I have is Sand, and they also make Bisque and Almond. It's definitely hydrating, or glowy anyway, because you can see there's a sheen left on my skin, which is nice. I tend to prefer foundations that are not completely opaque, not completely matte. I want it to look like my skin is actually skin, not just like a mask. I would definitely call this light coverage though. It's covering up my freckles, but I can still see quite a few of them in person, which is good. I actually really like sheer foundations. But for anybody looking for a medium coverage, I don't think you'd find it in this one. That blended in really nicely. Pleased with that one. Okay, so we've got bronzer and blush to do, and I've got 2 little palettes here, brand new obviously for 2018. This trio is the Define, Enhance, and Highlight Contouring Trio. I don't contour, but I am gonna use one of these shades as a bronzer. And I'm gonna go with the darker shade, which is the one in the middle, and just put it in the usual spots, which is temples, backs of my cheekbones, and slightly along the jawline. So with the bronzer on, we're gonna blush, and this is the Color Me Pink Blush Trio. I wanna stick with the purple theme going on the eyes, so I'm gonna choose the darker purple here. Quite a bit of pigment comes off, that's good. Oh, that's nice. That's a lot of pigment. Woo! Okay, blend it out. And to finish off that, I'm gonna go in with the highlighter here, which is very gold. Oh, but it doesn't come off like a streak of gold. I was expecting this to look like molten metal on my cheeks, but it's a little bit more sheer, which is good, because this color was a bit too strong right in the pan. So I threw some brows on. There was nothing in this collection that was for my eyebrows, so I just used my own regular stuff. And the last thing we have left is lips. So I've got something interesting. I've never tried one of these before. This is a matte cushion lipstick, and the shade I have here is Exotic Bloom. I thought this would work with the eyes. I tend to be very matchy-matchy. I match my eyes to my lips, so I figured this color would go. Okay, so the way that this works is you twist off the top, and it's like one of those powder eyeshadow things. The color is in the end of it, and I guess you just go straight on. I've never used one of these before on my lips. Oh, I thought it was gonna be powder. It's not. It's like a soft lipstick in the end, and it comes off on the sponge. That was neat. I wasn't expecting that at all. It's actually surprisingly comfortable. I don't think it's transfer proof though. Yeah, you get a little bit off on your hand, but still, that was really neat. In the end, it doesn't necessarily match the eyeshadow, but I think it goes well enough. Now that I've tried everything on, let's run through what I did and what I didn't like. I'm gonna start off with the stuff that I didn't enjoy as much, just so I can end on a positive note. The lip oil is fine. I felt like it wore off halfway through filming this. I'm not impressed that the wand takes up so much space that there really only is a half full product, but I guess that's to be expected with the size of the wand, which I did enjoy, but I also felt like the wand didn't pull up enough product. I had to dip back into this about 4 times before I could cover my lips. This pencil was an absolute no-go for the waterline. I realize it doesn't say that it's for the waterline, but it does say that it's waterproof, so I feel like it should go on the waterline. Anyway, even if it's not meant for the waterline, this thing broke and smushed upon like contact. It wouldn't go on my eyes, and then when I tried to draw it on my hand, it's just like, it's too soft almost. So this thing is a total pass for me. Now, to end off the section of products that I really did not enjoy in this video, this mascara is the #1 worst product in here. I don't know what they were thinking with this design. And then to claim that this is going to make it easier to get to those hard to reach places, like, who are you fooling? I use conical wands, which is basically the inverse of this, because regular brushes almost make it impossible for me to get to the very inner corners of my lashes. This thing is like, there's no chance in hell. I will never get to the inner corner of my eye with this thing without like dumping a blob of mascara right on my nose bridge. So I don't know who came up with this, but I feel like, I don't even know. I don't know what to think about it. Like, did somebody think that this was smart and actually going to be usable? Because if they did, that's shameful. So the ball makes it near impossible to use, because then even when I tried like the smaller section down here, the ball was like gonna collide. I cannot with this product. I think it's terrible and I will never use this again. Now, with those out of the way, let's talk about the stuff that actually did intrigue me. So these trios, really nice actually. To talk about the bronzer, I felt like it's a good color. It's not necessarily the tone I always reach for, but I couldn't quite tell you why. I feel like the highlighter is really pretty on camera, but I would say it's not necessarily as beaming in person as it appears with the ring light. In person, it is a little bit more subtle, but this one worked out well for me. And the blush trio, I really like the range of colors in here. The one I used today was beautiful, really like that, but I also like that there's a paler pink and a paler peach, because those are both shades that I will reach for throughout the summer for sure. Now, to talk about the eyeshadow palette, I was pleasantly surprised with this one. Joe Fresh has a tendency to put out eyeshadow palettes that are so nude that they are just bordering on a snooze fest for me. I realize they need to start their range with a collection of neutrals that everyone can use, but like, their makeup range has been around for a while. At this point, they should be experimenting with color. So I hope that this is a step in the right direction for them. It is very neutral taupe base, but there's enough color in here to make me happy. I did feel like the two palest colors, the white one and then the more cream one down here, were not that pigmented and not that brightening, but those were the only ones that I felt really kind of suffered. The rest of the ones that I used on my eyes were beautiful, easy to blend and pigmented. Really impressed with this eyeshadow palette. Now, as for the foundation, I do really enjoy it, but obviously I can't really speak to the longevity or how it wears throughout my day, etc. But I can tell you that I really like the feel of it on my skin right now, and it looks really nice. I do think that this is a bit more of a sheer foundation, which makes me happy. I like sheer coverage foundations, and I feel like it's nice. Like, it's not tacky. I don't feel like it's sticky on my face. It actually feels comfortable, which is a godsend, because foundation in general doesn't tend to feel very good on my face. Now, I don't like the shade range. I think 4 shades is just abysmal. With only 4 colors in the range, very few people are going to be able to wear this, which is really, really disappointing. and I want to see more colors by them. I only have the press thing here that shows me what the colors are, but the one in here that is darkest looks like it's gonna suit me just perfectly fine, you know, come the middle of summer when I've got a little bit more of a tan. But that does not make it a medium skin tone, and forget deep. Like, you can't even look at this collection. So while I like it, it is extremely disappointing that there's just not more shades in the range. And the last thing I have to talk about is this matte cushion lipstick. This thing is so much fun. This applicator was completely unexpected, but actually made it really easy to apply it, and it's good for on the go. This feels like a balm or like a lip stain that's not especially drying. This is so comfortable to wear. It doesn't feel tight. It doesn't feel like too creamy, like you're worried that it's gonna go traveling everywhere on your face. I really like this, and I like the color too. I think it's really fun. So that's the latest from Joe Fresh. I did receive everything in this video complimentary from Shoppers Drug Mart. Let me know if there's anything in here that you're interested in picking up. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.